alert in Miami Gardens, where police are searching for a killer.
That's right. Two teens were shot to death early this morning in a car. Local 10's Alex Finney live now with reaction from stunned neighbors. Alex.
Well, Calvin and Nicole, you do have a lot of people in this area that are so shocked, not only that this shooting happened, but these kids, they were so young. They were just teenagers, and police are hard at work trying to figure out exactly why this happened. Still a lot of questions surrounding this shooting in Miami Gardens that left two teenagers dead.
I know most of the young guys in the neighborhood, so I don't know. It's a mystery to everyone.
Police got the call early Friday morning when they arrived to Northwest 17th Avenue and 187th Street. A tragic discovery. Two boys were found shot in a car. First responders tried to save their lives, but their injuries were too severe. They sadly died on scene. Our cameras rolling all Friday morning. Local 10 captured the two bodies on the ground next to a gray sedan, both covered by tarps.
I'm very concerned about it because every day, every week, there's something happening with our youth. And because the thing that I see is that they have nothing to do with their time.
Very, very sad, and we are still working to learn the names of these victims. At this point, still no suspect, according to police. Now, here's the thing. They need the public's help. If you have any information, make sure you give Crime Stoppers a call. That number is 305-471-TIPS. Live in Miami Gardens, Alex Finney, Local 10 News.
Okay, Alex, thanks.
A safety alert now in Hollywood. A former Massage Envy employee has been arrested after he allegedly assaulted a customer in 2021. Dennis Delgado appeared in bond court today, where a judge set a $26,000 bond, ordered no contact with the victim, and he was ordered to no longer provide any professional massage services. Delgado was living in Texas at the time of his arrest. He faces battery and sexual misconduct charges. The victim says she was sexually assaulted by Delgado at a Massage Envy location in Hollywood. She later reported it to police. DNA samples were taken and led to his arrest. Massage Envy releasing a statement reading in part, "We urge anyone who experiences anything other than a safe, quality massage to report it immediately to the franchise location so that it can be investigated. We cannot comment on pending allegations or litigation involving any independently owned and operated franchised location."
We're now following a developing story from Tallahassee. State lawmakers have passed a bill that would allow the DeSantis administration to relocate migrants not just from Florida, but from any state in the country. Louis is in our newsroom with more on this one. Louis.
So the bill would spend $10 million taxpayer dollars to create the program to move the migrants. The bill, which is titled Transportation of Inspected Unauthorized Aliens, now heads to the governor's desk, and he's expected to sign it into law. Last September, dozens of migrants were flown to Martha's Vineyard on a surprise flight that was chartered by the governor. He said the flight was part of the program to relocate migrants to so-called sanctuary states. While the legislation would give Florida authority to find and move migrants across the U.S., it does not contain specifics on how the state would identify migrants and coordinate such efforts. Another bill that's also making its way to the governor's desk after passing the House earlier this week, the Senate now has passed a bill that will change the way Disney's special government works. The bill would leave the district intact, but would change its name and allow Governor DeSantis to appoint a 5-member governing board. Currently, board members are named through entities controlled by Disney. The governor had taken on Disney after the company criticized the parental rights and education bill known as the Don't Say Gay Act. Calvin.
Okay, Louis, thanks a lot. Another developing story now. The Justice Department finding an additional document with classified markings at the Indiana home of former Vice President Mike Pence. This is just the latest in the classified records probe. Last month, a lawyer for Pence found about a dozen documents marked as classified at the former vice president's home. The Pence team previously said they did not believe any other documents would be found, as they had already completed an extensive search.
Dramatic video from Turkey, where two teenage sisters were pulled from the rubble well past that critical 72-hour mark. The 15-year-old rescued in the 99th hour since the quake first hit. 2 hours later, her 13-year-old sister was found. The death toll has now passed 22,000 people and continues to climb. More than 100,000 search and rescue teams are still searching through rubble around the clock. Some survivors are still being found even after all of this time. The U.S. military has set up a naval task force to coordinate humanitarian aid and disaster relief in Turkey. Here, a Marine general is now in charge of those efforts. We have put together a list of ways that you can help the victims of the Turkey earthquake. You can just go to local10.com for more information.
Your time is now 6:06. We are watching a crash on the Palmetto Expressway.
So let's check in with Janice.
Yeah, and seeing delays with that one, but I first want to give you a live look of I-95 in Miami. You can see your northbound and southbound lanes. As always, your southbound lanes are looking pretty good at this time, but if you're heading northbound, you're definitely going to be dealing with that stop and go traffic. This is your view at Northwest 135th Street. Your express lanes, though, are open and seem to be running smoothly at this time. Let's talk about that accident, though, on the Palmetto Expressway. It's going to be as you're heading westbound, right around Douglas Road. We do have a right lane block because of this crash, and we're seeing a whole lot of red as you are heading westbound on the Palmetto Expressway with your speeds clocking in at 10 miles per hour.
Okay, Janice, thank you. Right now, let's take a look at the closing numbers on Wall Street. The Dow closing today up 169 points at 33,869.
Finally, two Dolphins legends getting emotional today when one of them learned he's getting into the NFL Hall of Fame.
And it's hard to hold back the tears just watching them. Clay is here to show us the magic moment.
Calvin and Nicole, Dolphins linebacker Zach Thomas is finally a Hall of Famer. He had to wait until his 10th year of eligibility to get the news, and when he did, it came from the coach who gave him a chance, Jimmy Johnson.
You serious? Oh my God.
Welcome to the Pro Football Hall of Fame class of 2023. So proud of you.
I mean, someone's cutting onions in here, guys. Thomas made 7 Pro Bowls, and he was a first-team All-Pro 5 times, but so much more than that. He was the heart and soul of those Dolphins defenses, and he said that Jimmy Johnson was the one who gave him a chance, giving him a chance to start in his first ever regular season game. So just incredible that it finally happened, and it came from Jimmy Johnson. And we got to hear from Thomas last night. He says that he hopes that this is an example to kids who may think that they're too small or too slow to play the game. And no surprise here, he says that he will ask Jimmy Johnson to present him when he is enshrined in the Hall of Fame in Canton.
Love, love, love that story. The guy who gave him a chance. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's so great. Took too long though for him to do it because why? He didn't win a Super Bowl? Is that why you think?
I think there's, look, if we're being honest, I think that what he said was, being too small, too slow, that he was kind of underestimated, and people didn't fully realize the impact that he had on the game. But I was listening to one of his former teammates, Channing Crowder, today, and he said the level of intelligence and knowing what was coming in the next play. Peyton Manning said that no player ever gave him as much trouble on the field as Zach Thomas did. That's pretty high praise.
But he probably appreciates it more now, older, and after all this time.
After rejection, yes.
And able to enjoy it with the coach. I mean, just all of that coming together. It was great to see.
Yeah, part of that killer bee defense. Did I get that right? Killer bees? Yeah, I used to love that defense, man.
Oh, fun stuff.
All right, thanks a lot, Clay.
Thanks, Clay. Well, 2 Hialeah police officers accused of beating a handcuffed homeless man and trying to cover it up are trying to get out of jail until their trial.
And after a week of testimony, the judge is supposed to make a ruling today. Find out what happened in court, all new at 6.
Plus, we're speaking exclusively with a shooting survivor who was hit twice in the neck in a fight at the light. He tells us how his love for his family is helping him recover in our one and only exclusive.
These are pictures now of a long-range nuclear missile test at Vandenberg Space Force Base in California. The missile is called the Minuteman III. Last night's test focused on the weapon system security, safety, and effectiveness. The Pentagon regularly tests the intercontinental weapon system to verify its accuracy and reliability.
The state star witness in the XXXTentacion murder trial was back on the stand today, being cross-examined by attorneys for the three defendants. Local 10's Ian Margol is live with more on today's testimony. Ian.
Yeah, and that star witness back on the stand for the second day. It will continue again tomorrow. Defense attorneys were trying to convince the jury that he was not to be trusted.
Were you lying in 2018, or are you lying to this jury now?
I was lying in 2018.
Robert Allen back on the witness stand Friday in day 4 of the murder trial for 3 men accused of killing rapper XXXTentacion. Prosecutors say Allen was the 4th member of the group who robbed and then murdered XXXTentacion on June 18, 2018. Allen pled guilty to second-degree murder in August and is now a witness for the state in the first-degree murder trial for Dietrich Williams, Trayvon Newsom, and Michael Boatwright.
You told this jury that the whole plan that day was to ride around and rob people, correct?
Yes.
Earlier in the week, Allen told jurors it was Williams who was driving the car they were in, that it was Newsom who stole the rapper's property, and that it was Boatwright who fired the fatal shots. But now defense attorneys are trying to attack his credibility.
Were you lying to the prosecutor in July of 2022 when you told them something different than what you've told this jury today?
Yes.
Is there a reason that you lied to the prosecutor in July of 2022 about how much money people got?
Yes.
Did you lie, or is it you just can't keep your story straight?
Objection.
I'll withdraw.
Argumentative.
I'll withdraw.
So if you want more on this trial and more about XXXTentacion, the Florida Files podcast did a full series about his life and his death. Just go ahead and scan that QR code right on your screen to be taken to those episodes. Back out live here in Fort Lauderdale. This trial will continue again on Monday. If these 3 men are eventually found guilty, they could face up to life in prison. Live in Fort Lauderdale, I'm Ian Margol, Local 10 News.
Ian, thank you. Sky 10 over Margate Middle School today after a bomb threat was called into the school. Students were evacuated as the bomb squad made its way to the school to perform a safety check, but they didn't find anything. The students are safe and were able to return to class after an all-clear was given. The investigation into who made the threat is still ongoing.
Take you outside right now. Live look from our Mount Sinai Medical Center Tower Cam. Beautiful view. Best time of our newscast is always right now.
Yes, it is. And the weekend's going to look really nice too, right, Jordan?
The beginning, not so much, but the second half of the weekend, Nicole, yes, you're definitely going to want to head outdoors. You're going to want to head outdoors this evening as well. Notice Mallory Square just looking oh so beautiful this afternoon. Not a cloud in the sky towards the lower keys this afternoon. Just a gorgeous afternoon to maybe get outside, have dinner outdoors, do something, take the dog for an extra long walk because you're just shrouded in sunshine towards the Magic City this afternoon. Temperatures now slipping into the upper 70s, and notice the dew point of 68, so a little bit higher than we have been seeing earlier in the week, but humidity still not too bad as far as South Florida standards are concerned. But as we head into your Saturday, things are going to change. Our humidity is going to go up, and we're going to be seeing more clouds in our skies and a better chance for some showers, and that also lingers into the first half of your Sunday, because a cold front's going to be making its way into South Florida. But watch what happens as we head towards the beginning of the week. We're dropping those temperatures down to the 50s. But for now, we're stuck in that southeast wind flow ahead of that cold front, so we're going to stay dry and we're going to stay on the warm side. Cold front currently situated over the Panhandle this afternoon, bringing a deluge of showers and thunderstorms into the northern Gulf Coast states, into the Carolinas this afternoon. That will very slowly make its way into South Florida as we head towards the second half of your Saturday. So for tonight, if you have any outdoor plans, most should stay on the dry side of things, just some passing clouds. Warm though, so you'll want the short sleeves if you do have any outdoor plans this evening. Temperatures remaining into the mid-70s this evening and into the overnight hours as well. Now into the early morning hours tomorrow, few coastal sprinkles are possible, but only at about 10 to 20%. So most of us will stay dry overnight tonight, but mild and a little bit on the muggy side as well will be the story for this evening. As we head towards your Saturday, we'll start things off dry with some sunshine, but as we head into the afternoon hours, you'll notice more clouds starting to build build into our skies, and some spotty showers ahead of our next cold front are possible as well. Best chance for showers is going to be into the overnight hours Saturday and the first half of your Sunday as the actual cold front starts to make its way into South Florida. As we head towards the second half of your Sunday, though, into just past noon, notice how we really start to clear out those skies as the northwest wind takes hold, getting breezy at times, and that's going to allow those temperatures to drop down into the 50s. Now, it's a very quick cool down, though. You will notice we'll drop things down to the 50s Monday and even into the morning of your Valentine's Day. But then as we head towards the second half of the week, we ramp things very quickly back up into the low 70s for lows by next Thursday. So you notice on your 7-day forecast, only chance for rain we really have is late Saturday into early Sunday. And Calvin and Nicole, if you do have any plans on Valentine's Day, looking perfect out there. If you do have dinner plans, temperatures should be around 70 degrees.
Okay, it is duly noted. Thanks a lot. In Tallahassee, now the Florida High School Athletic Association has now voted to remove questions from a required health form about high school girls' menstrual cycles. They will no longer be asked about their periods in a medical history form after outrage from parents and the public. Critics say the questions were meant to out transgender athletes after the state's restrictions on transgender athlete participation. But those who support the questions believe they helped doctors detect potentially serious medical conditions. Another student has been attacked on a South Florida school bus.
Special needs student being beaten up by 2 other students. We are hearing from the victim's mother, all new at 6.
You're not American. Get off of my property.
A woman going on a racist rant, and this is not the first time she's terrorized this family who doesn't even know her. And wait until you hear how long this has been going on.
I was sure I was going to die.
Plus, an emergency responder having to make a drastic decision when his gas pedal hits the metal and he can't stop.
Happy Friday, everybody. It's time for Clay's Clowns, including one of the most spectacular meltdowns you're ever going to see in any sport.
A one-stop shop for all your news.
North Rock Island Road has since reopened.
From traffic updates and weather alerts to cooking, home projects, health, H2O, and politics.
Defining moment for the governor.
We've got you covered anytime, anywhere. Local 10 is right there with you on the scene of breaking news, in the stands at sporting events, and exploring SoFlo's hidden gems. Stream at home or on the go, 24 hours a day. Only on Local 10 Plus. The Florida Files podcast returns with the UPS hijacking and shootout that shocked South Florida. A new 5-part series taking listeners through the traumatic day and hearing from the families still fighting for justice.
They made a lot of mistakes.
Download the Florida Files podcast app now. You're watching Local 10 Sports with Clay Ferrero.
They say a good craftsman never blames his tools. Someone should have told that to Alexander Bublik 3 times. Number 5 on Clay's Clowns, Bublik at the Australian Open. He's in the far court, hits this one into the net, and his racket is going to pay the price.
Okay.
A lot.
Oh, wow.
Stop. It's already dead.
Gracious.
All right, I guess we should say his rackets are going to pay the price because he's not done. He goes into his bag, he gets another one, crushes that one in. He's still not done. He's going to go for a third. 3 rackets.
Anger management.
Anger management. Number 4, women's basketball, Washington State and Stanford. Poor Tara Wallace, spot shadow right there. Ouch.
Oh.
She's tough, though. She'd stay in the game. Number 3, Rudy Gobert. Going to get the rebound, and he's going to try to pass it to Anthony Edwards, and whoops. Well, I mean, in fair, you got to make the choice. Is it going to be a bounce pass or a chest pass? Number 2, Pro Bowl. This is flag football. Devontae Adams catches it, going to the end zone. Laterals to Tyreek Hill, who gets knocked the next week. Jalen Ramsey. It's flag football. Don't do that. Dolphins fans sitting at home like, what? What? I love him picking him up afterwards. Number 1, Bulls big man Andre Drummond's going to come up with a steal. He's in the open court. He's excited. He's going to Euro step and air ball. You can't grab your own air ball. That's a travel. That's yeah. That's why you're a big man. No Euro step. Only Bam Adebayo can Euro step as a big man.
That was a little painful to watch.
He played for the right team because Bull. Yeah, we won't add the other stuff on there.
Okay. Was that going the way of one of your dad jokes? 'Cause, yeah.
I'm not sure where he was going with that one.
was a shot that, anyway. To be explained off air because the FCC will give us problems.
There you go.
There you go.
All right, thanks, Clay. Next at 5:30, only Local 10 is speaking with a hardworking father who survived being shot twice in a road rage confrontation. He tells us what happened that night at the light in our one and only exclusive.
And a gathering of the tribes at the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino. Hundreds coming together to celebrate all indigenous cultures.
There's a million things I haven't done, just you wait.
Plus, the bright lights of Broadway are coming to South Florida with hit shows like Cher and many more when Local 10 News at 5:30 gets started in just a couple of minutes.
Never miss a beat with Local 10 Plus.
And it's right here in our own backyard.
A one-stop shop for all your news.
North Rock Island Road has since reopened.
From traffic updates and weather alerts to cooking, home projects, health, H2O, and politics.
Defining moment for the governor.
We've got you covered anytime, anywhere. Local 10 is right there with you on the scene of breaking news, in the stands at sporting events, and exploring SoFlo's hidden gems. Stream at home or on the go, 24 hours a day. Only on Local 10 Plus. The Florida Files podcast returns with the UPS hijacking and shootout that shocked South Florida. A new 5-part series taking listeners through the traumatic day and hearing from the families still fighting for justice.
They made a lot of mistakes.
Download the Florida Files podcast app now. Local 10 News starts right now.
Right now at 5:30 and only on 10, we're speaking with a shooting survivor who took 2 bullets to the neck in a fight. That victim was on his way home when he got into an argument with a guy on a dirt bike.
And he says the suspected, he wanted to do a left, he came back with a gun, and Local 10's Raj Lowe is live with our one and only exclusive.
This is a terrifying story. You have the story of a father of 2 simply working. He's driving home when there's some type of road rage incident. What makes this very frightening is that the victim says the shooter actually comes back, targets him, and shoots him in the neck, and now he's sharing his story.
Very lucky. Very blessed. Very blessed.
Through tears, Robert Gomez shares his story, shot twice in the neck in a road rage incident in Miami Gardens. He says after he was shot, he was covered in blood and people kept passing him by.
I had to take off my shirt, hold the wound myself. As I tried yelling somebody down, people just kept passing me by. Just kept passing me by. I told Miami, no, his officer. I thank God for it. He stopped, and he did the rest.
It was Wednesday, January 25th. Robert was heading home from work when he says he got into an argument with a man on a dirt bike.
It seems like he didn't like how close we were to each other.
Robert says the shooter was traveling with a toddler.
Still had on diapers.
He says the man left the scene, dropped off the toddler, and returned.
He still put down a gun and shot at me twice.
Robert just grateful to be alive and see his family.
Thankful every day that I can see them.
He is a father of a 10-year-old and an 8-year-old.
I can't smile again, to tell the truth, because like I told you, we didn't know he's going to make it.
His wife, Lucy Marr, who we interviewed in early February, says she is so grateful Robert is here and now is praying for an arrest in this case. Okay, a couple of things here. First off, this is very much an ongoing police investigation. If you have any information, give Crime Stoppers a call at 305-471-TIPS. And Robert is the sole provider for this family. You can see there in the video, it is still very difficult for him to talk. He has a long road to recovery. If you would like to help out Robert and his family, please go to our website at local10.com. We're live outside the Ryder Trauma Center. I'm Raj Lowe, Local 10 News.
All right, thank you, Raj. And we're also learning about the memorial fund for a Pembroke Pines police officer who lost his life in a motorcycle crash yesterday. Local 10's Roy Ramos is live with how he's being remembered. Roy.
Louis, he worked for this department for more than 20 years. He was a father, and those that knew him said he touched so many lives right here in this community. Unfortunately and sadly, he did lose his life yesterday, but today we are seeing touching tributes in his honor. An American flag at half-staff, officers' badges covered with black bands, canine officers from multiple agencies serving as therapy dogs, as Pembroke Pines police now mourn the loss of one of their very own.
I really can't explain it other than it's got to be an act of God.
Investigators said Officer Charles Herring was on his motorcycle traveling south on 184th Avenue near Sheridan when he was involved in what some may describe as a freak accident.
All of a sudden, a palm crash fell down right on top of him.
A driver who witnessed the crash called Local 10 and said she was right behind Officer Herring when the palm frond fell from the tree and struck him.
He hit the curb, the bicycle flew one way and he flew another way. I called 911.
While drivers pulled over, tried to help, and paramedics were quick to respond, rushing the veteran officer to Memorial Regional Hospital. Tragically, he would lose his life. From above in Sky 10, law enforcement from across South Florida lined up in his honor outside of the Hollywood Police Department. And this moving salute as his body arrived at the medical examiner's office.
A beloved father, He was a personal friend of mine.
Officer Herring, known to many as Charlie, had been with the department since 2002. And while those closest to him say he will truly be missed, he will never be forgotten.
Charlie's touched pretty much every person in this agency and so many people in the community that, you know, it's definitely going to take some time and a lot of togetherness to get through this.
And we will see that togetherness tonight. The Pembroke Pines Police Department is holding a candlelight vigil that is expected to start at 7 this evening at 9500 Pines Boulevard. That's going to be right outside of the police department. Now, they've also set up a memorial fund, and we have put that link on our website. You can find it if you'd like to contribute at local10.com. For now in Pembroke Pines, Roy Ramos, Local 10 News.
I'm sure there will be quite the turnout this evening. Okay, thanks, Roy. BSO making an arrest after a shootout that spanned 2 different counties. Cambrel Francois St. Hubert is charged with 2 counts of attempted first-degree murder. Police say the shootout happened between 2 men as well as people in 2 different cars outside of a convenience store in northeast Miami-Dade. It escalated into that gunfight. Now, one of the cars ended up at a strip mall in Pembroke Park. The driver shot, the car riddled with bullets. He was taken to the hospital. And a $5,000 reward is being offered for information about a murder in Lauderhill. Police found Hassani Thomas dead right near Northwest 56th Avenue. He had been shot repeatedly. If you know anything about what happened to this man, call Broward Crime Stoppers at 954-493-TIPS.
Sky 10 over the crash between a car and a bicyclist on Hollywood Boulevard. Police say the cyclist was taken to the hospital. Sky 10 also over the aftermath of a car fire on the Palmetto Expressway. The eastbound lanes near the Golden Glaze interchange, 2 lanes were blocked during that firefight.
A teenager has been reported missing out of Lauderdale Lakes. Take a look here. This is 15-year-old Jalecia Henderson, last seen along Northwest 41st Street yesterday afternoon, wearing a long-sleeve black shirt, leggings, and some Crocs. She does have a scar on her forehead and a health condition, and she needs her medication. So if you've seen her, call BSO. And a car hit a median in southwest Miami-Dade and then veered right off into the Don Shula Expressway this morning near 87th Avenue. Troopers say 1 person got hurt there.
Indigenous people from all across America are gathering at the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Hollywood for the tribe's 50th annual powwow.
The Warriors of the Southern Plains.
The 3-day celebration of all indigenous cultures features performances by dance and drum troops, a film festival with meet and greets, live musical performances, alligator wrestling demonstrations, as well as indigenous arts, crafts, foods. The POW, the powwow, has always been a big closeout concert, and this year it'll be a Sublime with Rome, who will perform Sunday at 3 p.m. The names most often referred to as the Magic City's founding fathers don't include the name Lightborn.
And about 162 black men, including a Lightborn, were needed to make Miami the international city we know of today. Calvin is in the newsroom to explain this one.
Well, it was a day so many had been waiting for, long delayed from the history pages, but not to be denied. One of Miami's founding fathers recognized with a street naming ceremony today, a street in historic Overtown named after Alexander C. Lightborn, or A.C. Lightborn, one of the 162 black men at the meeting in July of 1896 to incorporate the city of Miami. Christy, you just talked about there. Lightborn led the way with a dynamic speech, according to historical archives, and at least one witness at the meeting said that too, but for whatever reason, Miami's history books had forgotten or ignored the name Lightborn, but after today, no more.
But what's most important is that we are establishing the history of a black man in Miami that cannot be erased anymore. That's the most important part, because this party will be over, people will pass down that street, but this will be documented as something that a black man did and contributed to this city that's long been buried in the ibits and footnotes of this history of this city.
Well, today was years in the making, as I mentioned, especially for a neophyte researcher who learned firsthand about tenacity, and a former elected official who got the surprise of her life. If it's really true that you don't choose to make history, but it chooses you, then Alexander C. Lightborn was handpicked, leading a pack of more than 160 black men, casting a vote to make Miami an official city. Lightborn was only supposed to be seen and not heard back in 1896. But a witness from the meeting said Lightborn stood up and gave a compelling speech.
This is 1896 and early 1900s. You're not supposed to take up space as a black man.
Years ago, Anne Marie Henry, just a curious history lover, set out on a journey to make sure history no longer ignores one of Miami's founding fathers.
He was too vocal for the city leadership, so I think he was made to go away.
Even by today's standards, Henry found that Lightbourne's life was extraordinary. An educator, elected Sergeant of Arms for the State House in 1869, a Justice of the Peace in Gadsden County appointed by Governor Reed. Later, he became a founding member of Greater Bethel AME Church in Overtown, with a building today bearing his name.
He was pushing me to tell his story, like he didn't get to finish his story, and he wanted me to finish telling his story. So I feel that maybe that's why I found his descendants when no one else before that could do it.
My name is Allison Lightbourne Jones.
That's right, Henry found Lightbourne's great-great-granddaughter, Allison, who had just moved to Miami from Harlem, New York. But Henry's biggest aha moment came when she learned about a connection with former Miami-Dade County Commissioner Barbara Jordan and Lightbourne's wife, Mary Ziegler.
She told me about his brother by the name of Robert Ziegler, and they lived for a time in Quincy, Florida. My father is from Quincy, and when she gave me the history, and she said names passed down from generation to generation, sure enough, the lineage is there. Yeah, it's beautiful.
And they knew nothing about who they were, and that I gave them a part of their history. It's an honor. I feel it's just an honor.
3.
Even this, to me, is not enough. It's not enough. To me, there needs to be something in the city commission where they come back and say, let's correct this. Let's acknowledge that this gentleman was a part of the incorporation of the city of Miami.
You know, former Commissioner Jordan, she was on the county commission for a long time, I think about 16 years, and she said she only wishes she would have known about it. She would have done more, but she says she's not angry. She just, wants more done, and she's happy to know that she discovered it at 79 years old, that she was a descendant of Mary Ziegler and A.C. Lightbourne.
Well, so important this comes to light right now, again, underscoring the need to teach history and why we should elevate history and why history is what informs us and makes us better when we take a look back at who we were.
Oh, brother, as they say back in my neighborhood, you are talking about something. We can take a collection point on that one, brother. So we don't want to go there.
Do that.
We don't want to do that right now. We don't have enough time.
We don't have time for that, but beautiful story.
Yeah,
well told.
Great story.
Thank you, Calvin.
Thank you.
Well, you're getting ready to watch the Super Bowl this Sunday night.
Yeah, one South Florida native will be putting on a show in the sky. He's a Navy pilot who'll be buzzing the big game. We're catching up with his Top Gun, all new at 6.
But first, a live look outside all of our weather cameras right now. Another spectacular end of this week here in South Florida. What's a beautiful day today. My goodness, those temps. Warm, but that low humidity makes it feel so nice. And look at that sunset over Pembroke Park.
It's
a sign of what's to come. The weekend's going to be so good. Your forecast is next.
A new 5-part series taking listeners through the traumatic day and hearing from the families still fighting for justice.
They made a lot of mistakes.
Download the Florida Files podcast app now.
A racist rant caught on camera. This is in St. Louis, and it has led to one woman being arrested. Here's what went down.
You're not American. Get off of my property.
Well, Fatima Suarez and her family say they have been terrorized by that woman right there, Judy Klein, who is a complete stranger. For months this has been going on. There are Ring videos showing Klein threatening the family, repeatedly banging on their door with a hammer. She actually stole their mail and shouted those racist remarks.
Illegals living here? Get out!
My dad and my mom, they don't feel comfortable, like I said, opening up the windows, the curtains, and my little sister, she already knows what we mean by crazy lady, the one that broke into the house.
So the family is just angry with the local prosecutors who didn't file any criminal charges against Klein for more than a year. Those charges were only filed after those videos went viral. Judy Klein is charged with burglary now, property damage, and unlawful use of a weapon. Klein is not in police custody, and she is actually in a psychiatric hospital, but she has threatened to come back and harass the family again.
Now to Scottsdale, Arizona, where a business owner is charged with disorderly conduct after mocking an indigenous group who was performing for a Super Bowl-related event. The whole thing was caught on camera. Take a look. So that guy actually owns an indigenous art gallery and came outside to make fun of the dancers while they were filming an ESPN segment for Super Bowl Sunday. The guy who recorded the racist rant says Gilbert Ortega was yelling MAGA country and also said something taboo in Navajo. Then things got a lot more heated.
Step into the street, my friend.
Go back to Gallup.
Step into the street, my friend. Or are you scared? Are you scared? Are you
street?
afraid?
Hey, you guys. Step in the
You
street
afraid?
right here. Step in the street. Hey, don't tell me.
You didn't
He
see
told
me
me step
flinch.
in the street.
You didn't see
Oh,
me
your
move.
little
Did you
buddies
see
came
me
over
back
here.
up? Did you see me
Oh,
run?
your little friends
Did you
came
see
over
me
here.
run?
You sure backed up, you Indian.
It worries us and it worries me because we should be able to practice our free culture without having to deal with racial slurs.
I never wish anything bad on anyone at all. You always want to wish healing on them, you know, and that they find the light. We just have to try to help one another. That's the strength of who we are.
Well, the racist rant happened Wednesday. The gallery was closed yesterday. The owner, Gilbert Ortega, told a local TV station he has seen the video and is, quote, embarrassed and ashamed. He's now charged with 3 counts of disorderly conduct. That's just horrific. I mean, what is wrong with people?
I was just going to say that. And we've got more of them. Wait till you see this. A high school employee in Wisconsin is on administrative leave after she was recorded making racist comments to a student who's indigenous. And here's what that student recorded on her phone.
You don't care. You don't care if you get a D-. You're native, right? So you just can collect your check and don't have to give two about your future. So why should I care?
Well, that student says that she was shocked because she had only asked the staff member for a little help, and up until that point, she had only had positive interactions with that particular administrator.
I just look over at my friend that heard the whole thing. She was pretty shocked and I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to do.
Probably gotten 6 people coming out about different teachers and hey, was it this teacher because this teacher did this? It's gross. I'm probably going to be out of here by the time my kids are in high school.
The clip has gone viral in Black River Falls, where that high school student population, more than 20% indigenous. The school district has put that special education program aide on leave. According to state education officials, the aide's teaching license is also under investigation.
That's probably a good thing.
Yeah.
All right, an off-duty EMT needed rescuing himself after his car's accelerator got stuck. At one point, he was driving more than 100 miles an hour before he crashed. Listen to his frantic calls for help.
Hello? What, so you can't stop your car?
Wow, you can hear the urgency in his voice, the fear in his voice. This happened in Georgia on Christmas Eve. James Benfield called 911 when his gas pedal got stuck. He didn't want anyone else to get hurt, so he aimed his car at an empty parking lot where it flipped 5 times, and emergency rescuers had to use the jaws of life just to cut him out of that mangled mess.
It looks like it exploded.
I never lost consciousness, surprisingly. I was terrifying. It was definitely one of the scariest experiences of my life.
Well, incredibly, his most serious injury was a dislocated thumb. Accelerator defects are rare, but they do happen, and here's what one auto expert says to do if it happens to you.
Take both feet and press them down on the brake pedal hard. Shift that car into neutral. Once you've got the car into neutral, get the car to a safe area.
Well, I hope I can be calm and collected like that and remember that one
Can I write
if
that
that ever
down?
happens to me, because wow,
That
I'd probably
is
be screaming
so-
like that other man.
Oh, yeah, and
That
there'd be
was
some
scary.
words that would not be fit for print.
Dislocated thumb is all that happened to him.
That's crazy.
Incredible.
All right, let's take a look outside right now from our Mount Sinai Medical Center tower cam. And that's a
Wow.
very peaceful look out there. Just perfect to get us started on our weekend, Mr. Jordan.
Yeah, it is just oh so beautiful out there. Christy Louis, South Florida. The sunset is occurring all over South Florida, and just a gorgeous shot out of the view of our Mount Sinai Medical Center tower camera. Just a very calming start to our weekend. You definitely want to head outside and enjoy this beautiful evening we have on tap, because as we slip into Saturday, Sunday, things get a little bit dicey. But today we did 83 degrees, a little bit above average, but very comfortable for South Florida standards. No rain to speak of today. And even right now, we're still into the upper 70s to low 80s out there, Fort Lauderdale, Miami, Key West. Notice this onshore breeze at 10 to 15 miles per hour out of the southeast is keeping us warm and humid, and that's going to be the trend into the overnight hours as well. So you will notice we'll keep temperatures on the mild side into the mid 70s all evening. Skycast painting some clouds out there overnight tonight, riding that southeast breeze, but it's not going to be a very showery evening. But into Saturday and Sunday especially, that's going to start to change, all thanks to this cold front currently situated over the northern portions of the state. It's very slowly going to make its way down this peninsula as we head into this weekend. So showers will be possible for the second half of your Saturday. Just some spotty showers, not a washout by any means. The best chance, though, is going to be overnight Saturday and into early Sunday as that front does cross South Florida. And then behind that front, by the time we hit Sunday evening and into early Monday morning, northeast flow on the backside of this cold front. We're going to be drier and cooler, with temperatures dropping down into the 50s as we head towards Monday and towards Valentine's Day as well, with high temperatures into the mid and upper 70s. But it's a very quick cool down. We get back to the mid 80s by next Thursday. Christy?
Okay, sounds good. Thanks, Jordan. And ahead here at 6, another student has been attacked on a school bus. 2 kids ganging up on a special needs child. We're now hearing from the victim's outraged mother.
A judge has been hearing testimony about whether 2 Hialeah cops arrested for battery should be allowed to post bond until their trial. We'll tell you what the judge decided.
Welcome to Hollywood. What's your dream?
But first, Broadway is back big time. We have all the information on Cher and other big Broadway hits coming to the backyard when Local 10 News comes right back.
Never miss a beat with Local 10 Plus.
And it's right here in our own backyard.
A one-stop shop for all your news.
North Rock Island Road has since reopened.
From traffic updates and weather alerts to cooking, home projects, health, H2O, and politics.
Defining moment for the governor.
We've got you covered anytime, anywhere. Local 10 is right there with you on the scene of breaking news, in the stands at sporting events, and exploring SoFlo's hidden gems. Stream at home or on the go, 24 hours a day. Only on Local 10 Plus. The Florida Files podcast returns with the UPS hijacking and shootout that shut South Florida. A new 5-part series taking listeners through the traumatic day and hearing from the families still fighting for justice.
They made a lot of mistakes.
Download the Florida Files podcast app now.
Well, Broadway is back in South Florida.
The Adrian Arts Center announcing its new season of shows, and our own Broadway baby, Janice, is in the newsroom with a sneak peek.
Yeah, Christy, Louie, even though we're still enjoying the 2023 season of Broadway Across America at the Adrian Arts Center, we are now getting a sneak peek at the shows coming for the 2023-2024 season.
I'm past patiently waiting, I'm passionately smashing every expectation, every action's an act of creation. I'm laughing in the face of casualties of sorrow. For the first time, I'm thinking past tomorrow.
Keeps getting bigger and better. And that's no different this time around. It is a tedious process for organizers to pick the right shows to come to town and then make sure they can schedule it all while audiences enjoy. A total of 5 shows this year. There will be 2 South Florida premieres. And one of those premieres, The Cher Show. The Tony Award-winning show tells the story of Cher and her 6-decade career, from starting off as a kid to the icon she is today. And another South Florida premiere, Peter Pan. The show is getting a revamp with a new adaptation. Audiences will also get to see Pretty Woman and the return of Hamilton and Les Mis. As always, the best way to see all your favorite shows is by becoming a season ticket holder, and we have all of that information up on our website, local10.com. That does it for Local 10 News at 5:30. It's time now for the news at 6.
Developing now, urgent search for shooter.
2 teens ambushed, shot, and killed. The young victims were just sitting in their car when they suddenly came under fire. I'm Alex Finney with what I just learned.
Caught on camera, another school bus speeddown, what the video shows.
Touching tribute for an officer who was killed on duty, how you can take part.
Move over, Mickey, the big power play that just happened at Disney.
We can cool down your weather authority with when we'll feel the 50s. The Super Bowl countdown is on. I'm Janine Stanwood with how a Top Gun from right here will be a major player in the big game. Off the top at 6, we begin with a developing story. A judge deciding whether to release a pair of jailed former Hialeah police officers.
They're accused of beating a handcuffed homeless man and then covering up their crime. Let's get right to Local 10's Andrew Perez in Miami with our big ruling today. Andrew.
Well, just moments ago, all men were given what's considered to be a very reasonable bond after a very testy week. They'll be going home tonight. The cover-up, say prosecutors, was just as bad as the crime. Bold statements made in court, and defense attorneys not pleased.
That is a bold-faced lie. That's not true. And they know it.
The defense taking aim, saying Jose Ortega Gutierrez lacks credibility in this case. It's his word against 2 now former Hialeah police officers after he was beaten on the street instead of driven to the jail.
There's no running from who the victim is. The victim is a homeless alcoholic who sells drugs, who is a nuisance to that area, nuisance to that bakery, nuisance to that shopping center, but he's also a person.
They're asking you to credit a drunken statement of a career criminal who he arrested on drug charges protecting the community
This hearing playing out over 5 days like a trial, and it's all just to determine if these men deserve bond until the actual trial starts. Lorenzo Orfila and Rafael Otaño were responding to a disturbance at a Hialeah bakery and found Ortega Gutierrez, a known homeless man in the area. They put him in a squad car, but instead of driving him to jail, detectives say GPS data shows they drove to a secluded area and stopped, allegedly beating him while handcuffed, leaving him there until he was found by an off-duty officer. As that investigation unfolded, authorities say Ali Saleh bribed the victim, a fourth man allegedly notarizing that paperwork. The judge weighing many factors in court for his decision.
We're very happy that Lorenzo will be coming home to be with his family.
And Rafael Otaño will be completely exonerated and get his job back.
All men charged, by the way, were also given house arrest, and now they will prepare for what's expected to be a very lengthy trial. That's the latest here in Miami. I'm Andrew Perez, Local 10 News.
Okay, Andrew, thanks a lot. And now to the search for a shooter after 2 teenagers were gunned down.
Police finding the victims in a car in Miami Gardens. Local 10 News reporter Alex Finney is live with what she's learned. Alex.
And Nicole and Calvin, I think one of the most heartbreaking things about this story is that these victims were so young. They were just teenagers. We know that residents in the area, they are very concerned. Meanwhile, the investigation into exactly what happened and who did this continues.
It's terrible. Make me feel terrible.
Residents reacting to the news of 2 boys, just teenagers, being shot and killed Friday morning in this Miami Gardens neighborhood. There are still a lot of questions surrounding this situation.
I know most of the young guys in the neighborhood, so I don't know. It's a mystery to everyone.
Police got the call early Friday morning when they arrived to Northwest 17th Avenue and 187th Street. A tragic discovery. 2 boys were found shot in a car. First responders tried to save their lives, but their injuries were too severe. They sadly died on scene. Our cameras rolling all Friday morning. Local 10 captured the 2 bodies on the ground next to a gray sedan, both covered by tarps.
I'm very concerned about it because every day, every week, there's something happening with our youth. And because the thing that I see is that they have nothing to do with their time.
And one thing that residents told me today is that really just the gun violence has got to stop. We know that according to one resident I spoke with, they heard several gunshots going off. We know that also police, they need the public's help. If you have any information, make sure you give Miami-Dade Crime Stoppers a call. That number is 305-471-TIPS. All of this remains under investigation. For now, that's the very latest live in Miami Gardens tonight. Alex Finney, Local 10 News.
Just awful that they were so young. Thanks, Alex. Right now, a mother is outraged and demanding answers after her child was attacked on her school bus on her birthday. It's the second violent school bus beating caught on camera this month. Local 10's Hatzel Vela is live in Cutler Bay with the disturbing video. Hatzel.
Nicole, mom tells me her daughter is a special needs student here at Cutler Bay Middle School. Says she now sits at home battered, bruised, and with a concussion. On her 15th birthday, no quinceañera, instead a beatdown. It happened last Friday while Savannah Brown was riding her school bus home.
I felt broken. I wasn't there. I couldn't protect her.
Her mother clearly distressed over the whole thing.
My daughter's getting beat like a dog, kicked, hit with a cell phone on her face, while administration on that school bus, stands ground and does nothing about it.
The teenager, who's in the 8th grade, has had to go see a doctor numerous times since the incident.
The brutality, right? The brutality.
Joe Montgomery, the family's attorney, says it's hard to look at the video. The school district says they're reviewing the incident to see if the bus driver will face disciplinary action. This after a second person gets on the bus and jumps in on the fight.
How could it be acceptable to leave the front door of a school bus wide open to allow an assailant to just walk right in and join in on the pummeling of a young student with special needs?
These types of brawls happening a lot lately. This one at Coconut Palm K-8 Academy in Homestead last week. A 15-year-old teen charged there. And there's this one a week prior at West Broward High School in Pembroke Pines, where 5 girls jumped and pummeled another girl who sat defenseless on the ground. And so we know Miami-Dade Police is now the lead investigative agency when it comes to this incident. The district telling us they can't say much about the other students because of privacy laws in place to protect them. I should tell you, though, the mom in this case telling us her daughter is likely not coming back here. For now, reporting live from Cutler Bay, I'm Hatsafallah, Local 10 News.
Disturbing video indeed. Thanks a lot there, Hansel. Pembroke Pines police officers arriving to work today with flags at half staff and badges covered with black bands as they mourn the death of one of their own. Officer Charles Herring was on his motorcycle going south on 184th Avenue near Sheridan Street yesterday when a falling palm frond struck him and sent him flying off of his motorcycle. He was rushed to the hospital where he later died. Officer Herring, known to many as Charlie, had been with the department since 2002, and Pembroke Pines Police will be honoring Officer Herring with a candlelight vigil in less than an hour from now. They're asking the public to join them outside the police department at 7 p.m. That addresses 9500 Pines Boulevard.
Right now, major news out of Tallahassee. State lawmakers sending two bills to the governor's desk, one involving migrants and the other Disney. Local 10's Louis Aguirre is in the newsroom with the details.
That's right, Nicole. These bills would allow more migrant flights orchestrated by the DeSantis administration and set a new set of rules for Disney's Reedy Creek district. The expansion bill passed by state legislators today would allow the governor to relocate migrants, not just from Florida, from any state in the country. The bill, titled Transportation of Inspected Unauthorized Aliens, would spend $10 million taxpayer dollars to create the program to move migrants. Governor DeSantis is expected to sign it soon into law. The other bill making its way to the governor's desk will change the way Disney's special government works. The bill would leave the Reedy Creek district intact, but would change its name and allow Governor DeSantis to appoint a 5-member governing board. Some Democrats call the changes unnecessary, while Republicans say they are a fair balance.
They are not going to go in there and set policies. They're not going to go on there and force the hand of any private companies to do what they do in their normal day of business.
The bill would have an immediate effect upon signature, but there will be a transition period for a new board to get Senate approval and take over. Calvin.
Okay, Louis, thanks a lot. And right now, a suspect turned star witness back on the stand in the murder trial of 3 men charged in the killing of rapper XXXTentacion. Defense attorneys now trying to attack his credibility. Local 10's Ian Marvel is live now in Miami with the latest for us. Ian.
Yeah, this witness is the person that the state is using to really make their case. And now defense attorneys are trying to convince the jury that that man is a liar and that he cannot be trusted.
I definitely would like to get a lighter sentence, yes, but I definitely have remorse. I sit and look at the stand and see people crying, and I'm trying to do my best to get the family, the friends, and his fans justice.
Robert Allen back on the witness stand Friday in day 4 of the murder trial for 3 men accused of killing rapper XXXTentacion. Prosecutors say Allen was the 4th member of the group who robbed and then murdered XXXTentacion on June 18, 2018. Allen pled guilty to second-degree murder in August and is now a witness for the state in the first-degree murder trial for Dietrich Williams, Trayvon Newsom, and Michael Boatwright.
Your attorney has talked to the prosecutor, correct?
Yes.
Isn't it true that your attorney has repeatedly told you that you were going to get 5 to 6 years on this murder case?
That was possible.
Earlier in the week, Allen told jurors it was Williams who was driving the car they were in, that it was Newsom who stole the rapper's property, and that it was Boatwright who fired the fatal shots. But now defense attorneys are trying to attack his credibility.
You just testified that you were doing fraud, and now you're testifying that you weren't doing fraud. So which is it?
I wasn't doing fraud at the time because I was committing robberies.
Oh, okay, so you switched. You switched career paths.
So if you want more on XXXTentacion, the Florida Files podcast did a full series on his life and his death. Just go ahead and scan that QR code right there on your screen to be taken straight to those episodes. Back out live here in Fort Lauderdale. This trial will continue again on Monday morning. If those men are eventually found guilty, they will face up to life in prison.
Live in Fort Lauderdale, I'm Ian Margol, Local 10 News.
Ian, thank you. We're coming up on 610, and we're watching a crash on I-75 in Weston, so let's check in with Janice Fernandez.
Yeah, big backups on 75, Nicole, as we take a live look from our traffic cameras. These are your southbound lanes just as you're approaching Griffin Road, where we are monitoring that accident. And yes, there's a whole lot of red because of it, so do expect to see those slow speeds ahead. Zooming on in a little bit closer to our maps, so we can get a better look at what we're dealing with. Those delays are starting from 595 and stretching all the way to Griffin Road. So it is a pretty long stretch of red. Right now, speeds are clocking in at 15 miles per hour. You can expect there to be 2 left lanes blocked as well.
Okay, Janice, thank you. To Black History Month and an important honor for a local landmark.
The Hampton House Motel in Miami has been added to the National Register of Historic Places. Segregation in the 1960s made the Hampton House a popular designation for travelers, black leaders, celebrities, and athletes like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X, Muhammad Ali, and Jackie Robinson. Dr. King had a suite on the ground floor and is said to have delivered the first version of his famous "I Have a Dream" speech at the Hampton House. Still to come. We continue working to major breaking stories. The FBI finding another classified document at the Indiana home of former Vice President Mike Pence.
Plus, the latest on the shoot down of a high-flying object above Alaska. It's all ahead on World News Tonight at 6:30.
Plus, a live look from our Miami Tower cam this evening. A weekend cool down is on the way. Your weather authority is timing it out.
Some cities get a crosswalk. Fort Lauderdale is getting pretty much a whole street covered in a pride flag. We'll tell you why it was unveiled today, coming up.
But first, crooks caught on camera tailing who they thought was an easy target, a man leaving the bank with a lot of cash. The warning from police tonight.
Never miss a beat with Local 10 Plus.
And it's right here in our own backyard.
A one-stop shop for all your news.
North Rock Island Road has since reopened.
From traffic updates and weather alerts to cooking, home projects, health, H2O, and politics.
Defining moment for the governor.
We've got you covered anytime, anywhere. Local 10 is right there with you on the scene of breaking news, in the stands at sporting events, and exploring SoFlo's hidden gems. Stream at home or on the go, 24 hours a day. Only on Local 10 Plus.
Tonight, police are on the hunt for a pair of crooks who were caught on camera following a man from a bank and then stealing $6,500 from his car. Police say the dark SUV followed the black pickup from the bank in Doral. When the man went inside a hardware store in Medley, the two got to work. One man opened the driver's side door of the truck. Another man went inside the store to serve as a lookout.
Any person who's going to go to the bank, our suggestion is to make sure you take out the money, count it in front of the clerk, make sure how much money you have, and if it's a large sum, keep it with you in your pocket or in your wallet, and make sure that you go to a safe area once you leave the bank.
Well, this heist happened on January 24th. If you think you know who these two are, call Medley Police or Miami-Dade Crime Stoppers at 305-471-TIPS.
And right now, the city of Fort Lauderdale celebrating Pride with a permanent display.
Local 10's Christian De La Rosa is live with the colorful crosswalk just unveiled. Christian.
Well, you know, there are a lot of cities with crosswalks, but in this case, the city of Fort Lauderdale, take a look, it's getting pretty much a whole street covered in this pride flag, and here's why. The road to the beach along Sebastian Street.
Takes me back through all the struggles.
Now covered and colored with meaning.
And I marched in the original Stonewall in 1969, so this means a lot.
The 18 by 75 feet Progress Pride flag unveiled Friday afternoon.
This is our opportunity to expel the hate.
Serving as a kickoff to this weekend's Fort Lauderdale Pride of the Americas Festival.
It's a place for you to feel welcome. That's what Pride is about.
In its 46th year, it is the longest running LGBTQ plus celebration in the state of Florida.
I'm proud of it.
This new addition, now a permanent reminder.
What it took us to get here. There were a lot of hard-fought battles to get us to where we have something displayed on a street like this.
Color, a lot of meaning, and for many of the folks that were out here for the unveiling of this, they'll also tell you it's also a reminder of the struggles to come for the LGBTQ plus community. Guys?
Christian, that parade always sees a lot of people. There are thousands of people expected to come out, so I'm sure there will be a lot of road closures in place too, right?
Absolutely. Go ahead and take a look at this graphic that we have. The Pride Parade actually kicks off at noon and will go from Terramar Street down south all the way through Las Olas Boulevard. So that entire strip will be surrounded by road closures, so certainly keep that in mind. I can also tell you, if you do plan to come out here, there will be free shuttles provided by the city of Fort Lauderdale and the organization going from Wilton Manors all the way to Fort Lauderdale, dropping people off, taking people back. But you could also ride share if you do plan to come out here this weekend. Also, bringing a lot of people out here to this Pride Festival this weekend. Boy George, I'm told, will be giving a full 1-hour concert. Wow. So yes, thousands of people out here for that
name in a while.
This weekend. Guys, back to you.
Should be a great time. Thanks, Christian.
Oldie but goodie, my goodness, yeah. Let's check in now with Jordan in for Betty Davis tonight, and I guess it's 50-50 tonight, huh?
Tonight, not so much, but as we head towards your Saturday, that's when things start to get a little 50-50. So notice what we see right now towards Ocean Key Resort Camera. Mallory Square looking beautiful. Sunset just a couple minutes ago. See a couple boats out there on the water. It's a wonderful evening to get outside and enjoy. Temperatures into the upper 70s right now. Few clouds in our skies. Southeast wind keeping humidity a bit on the higher side for this time of year, but still comfortable for South Florida standards. As we head towards your weekend, though, things start to change a little bit as a cold front makes its way into town. So you notice we'll see building clouds late Saturday and into early Sunday, and notice we're increasing those rain chances as well. But notice behind the front, boom, we're down to the 50s once again as we head towards your Monday morning. But until we get to that, we got to deal with all of this that we head over into the weekend. Right now, this front is situated over the northern portions of the state and into the northern Gulf Coast, providing for a deluge of showers and thunderstorms. We're not going to be tapping into that many showers as we head into this weekend once the front gets here, but we will start to increase those shower chances late tomorrow afternoon. But for tonight, if you have any outdoor plans, notice Skycast model keeping us nice and dry. Just some passing clouds in our skies. Temperatures on the warm side, though, because of that southeast breeze, checking into the mid-70s this evening, even into the overnight hours as well, with an isolated sprinkle along the coastline tomorrow morning possible. Notice by Saturday afternoon, that front's still into the northern portions of the state, but ahead of it, we'll see increasing clouds and maybe a spotty shower ahead of this cold front. By your Sunday morning, that's when this front finally makes its way into South Florida. So the best chance for showers will be late Saturday night and into early Sunday. We start to clear out into the afternoon, though, and a reinforcing northwest breeze behind this cold front is really what's going to cool us down for Monday morning. Very quick cool down, though. Calvin and Nicole, notice 50s only Monday and Tuesday, and then we're right back to the mid-80s by the end of next week.
Okay, thanks a lot. Still ahead, one of the major players on Super Bowl Sunday is from right here in South Florida.
But this Top Gun won't be playing in the big game. We go Wheels Up next on Local 10 News at 6.
Never miss a beat with Local 10 Plus.
And it's right here in our own backyard.
A one-stop shop for all your news.
North Rock Island Road has since reopened.
From traffic updates and weather alerts to cooking, home projects, health, H2O, and politics.
Defining moment for the governor.
We've got you covered anytime, anywhere. Local 10 is right there with you on the scene of breaking news, in the stands at sporting events, and exploring SoFlo's hidden gems. Stream at home or on the go, 24 hours a day. Only on Local 10 Plus. The Florida Files podcast returns with the UPS hijacking and shootout that shut South Florida. A new 5-part series taking listeners through the traumatic day and hearing from the families still fighting for justice.
They made a lot of mistakes.
Download the Florida Files podcast app now.
Tonight, we're counting down to Super Bowl Sunday, and a Navy pilot from right here in South Florida will be a major player at the big game.
As Local 10's Janine Stanwood reports from Pembroke Pines, this Top Gun will be making history.
He's a Flanagan High School grad turned Top Gun, and you'll be able to see his fighter pilot precision on the Super Bowl.
In the cockpit of this F-35C is Lieutenant Commander Daniel Armenteros, a Top Gun in the Navy from Pembroke Pines.
This is when he's on deployment, when he was shooting one of the missiles.
His dad proud of his combat flights, and now a new mission.
He's going to be participating in the naval flyover of the Super Bowl. He'll be one of the officers calling the jets in.
In other words, timing perfectly that famous flyover at this year's Super Bowl.
He's very precise in his job, so I think that's one of the reasons they selected him for it.
And this year, for the first time, all the Navy jets will be piloted by women.
So for him to be a part of that.
Yes. He's very, very happy.
Dad says Daniel was inspired by relatives in Cuba who were military pilots. He was in the JROTC and started flying as a teenager.
So even at a young age, even in school, he had that focus, he
Yes.
had that drive.
Had the drive to focus, and that's all from his mom, I think. His mom did well.
You can't take any credit for that?
Maybe a little bit, but.
Turns out another South Floridian, Petty Officer 2nd Class Rennell Smythe of Fort Lauderdale, will be at the Super Bowl too, maintaining the aircraft for the big show.
And he said yes, that he does know her and he works with her over there at the Super Bowl.
So South Florida's representing.
Absolutely, we're all over the place over there. Thank God.
So of course the family's going to be having a big Super Bowl party. Dad says they're rooting for the Eagles, but the biggest winner, of course, is their son and the Navy and that flyover. We're in Pembroke Pines. I'm Janine Stanwood, Local 10 News.
So great. Proud parents. Thanks, Janine. In tonight's Wild Florida, a scaly surprise in the Florida Keys. Monroe County Sergeant James Hager got up close and personal with a Burmese python that was spotted sunbathing along US 1 in Key Largo. After snapping these pictures, Sergeant Hager safely turned over the python to the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission.
Okay, that is up close and personal. A little too close for comfort, okay?
Yeah.
All right, we thank you for watching. We'll see you again tonight at 11.
Anything you missed, you can always find it on our website, local10.com. World News Tonight is next.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Never miss a beat with Local 10 Plus.
And it's right here in our own backyard.
A one-stop shop for all your news.
North Rock Island Road has since reopened.
From traffic updates and weather alerts to cooking, home projects, health, H2O, and politics.
Defining moment for the governor.
We've got you covered anytime, anywhere. Local 10 is right there with you on the scene of breaking news, in the stands at sporting events, and exploring SoFlo's hidden gems. Stream at home or on the go, 24 hours a day. Only on Local 10 Plus. The Florida Files podcast returns with the UPS hijacking and shootout that shut South Florida. A new 5-part series taking listeners through the traumatic day and hearing from the families still fighting for justice.
They made a lot of mistakes.
Download the Florida Files podcast app now. Never miss a beat with Local 10 Plus.
And it's right here in our own backyard.
A one-stop shop for all your news.
North Rock Island Road has since reopened.
From traffic updates and weather alerts to cooking, home projects, health, H2O, and politics.
Defining moment for the governor.
We've got you covered anytime, anywhere. Local 10 is right there with you on the scene of breaking news, in the stands at sporting events, and exploring SoFlo's hidden gems. Stream at home or on the go, 24 hours a day. Only on Local 10 Plus.